Welcome, 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 client and acquisition and scaling family. Happy Monday. I look forward to these Monday mindsets, by the way. This is the place where we all come, including myself, every Monday to really get our minds right? To feed our minds, because when we change our mindset, we change our businesses. So if this is the first time you've been here, welcome. Type first in the comments. And if you want SMS reminders, so every Monday, if you'd like a reminder 10 minutes before this call starts, go ahead and type SMS in the chat and we will get you an SMS reminder and get you on the list so you can get those chat reminders, those text messages. Now, for my new folks, if you've just joined our group and this is your first Monday Mindset, my name is Lisa Parziel. And today I am actually going to talk about raising your prices, right? So how you can raise your prices and earn more for what you're already doing. So let me start by asking you guys something. Who here would like to double your prices? If that's you, type me in the comments. Who would like to double your prices? Type me in the comments if that's you. Okay. How about triple your prices? Anybody here want to triple your prices? If you do, go ahead and type me in the comments. If you'd like to triple your prices, type me. Okay, anyone want to quadruple your prices? Anybody want to quadruple your prices? Type me. I'm not seeing a ton of me's. Do you guys not want to raise your prices? What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, okay. Hey, great comment. I want to triple my profits. Who cares about prices? I love it. Exactly. If you want to raise your prices, double your prices, triple your prices, quadruple your prices, it doesn't matter. If you want to make more money, type me in the comments. And if you're watching the replay, type me, right? For those of you guys not typing, okay, or for those of you who really didn't, think you could, I get it. I get it. Raising your prices is scary. Asking more for something is downright terrifying, right? And the reason being, and the reason why we're often afraid to do it, the reason why we get, ill will, bad feelings, is because we start thinking about the rejection. So we're not even thinking about the positive outcome. We start thinking about the negative outcome. We start really getting in our own heads, right? What if my customers quit? What if nobody buys my services? We might even have feelings like, am I really good enough to charge that? Like, I'm not that good. Should I really charge that high of a price? Or what if it doesn't work, right? So I know exactly what may be going on through your head. It's the doubt, the worry. And the reason I know is because that was me, right? When I first started my business, I had zero confidence. Now, I know that might be hard to believe because I'm pretty confident now. And it's not that I wasn't a confident person. I've never really not been a confident person. I was not confident in selling. I was not confident in delivering. I was not confident in my services, my business. So whether you are confident or not doesn't matter if you don't have that confidence in what you're doing or what you're selling. In fact, I'm going to share with you my very first SEO client paid me, wait for it, a measly $100 a month. That is not a misspeak. I literally charged $100 a month for SEO. I mean, why the heck would I do that? Why would I agree to work for what essentially equated to maybe $5 an hour? Because that's what I was doing at $100, right? And back then, back in 2011, when I did this, I had a full-time job that was paying me $140,000 a year. I mean, that's a little more than $5 an hour, right? So why did I do it? You may be in a similar place right now. Now, maybe it's not $100 a month, but maybe what you're doing, you're still charging way too little for, right? Why do people undercharge for their services when other people do what we would consider ghastly overcharging in our head, right? And then we see people buying that or paying for that. I have oftentimes bought courses or products for top dollar that weren't very good, and then other products for low dollar that were amazing. And sometimes it doesn't equate. Well, I promised you the first secret, one secret, and I have many more, but the first secret, one word, belief, right? Back then, I did not believe in myself. I was terrified that I might not be able to deliver on my promise of SEO. You see, I was just learning SEO back then. I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't know how to guarantee results. I didn't have any processes. I didn't have any procedures. So essentially, I figured if I charged $100 a month, if things didn't go so well, the customer wouldn't be really mad. And if he was mad, I could always give back a measly $100 a month, right? In fact, I didn't even spend a penny of that money. I put it in my business account and let it sit there just in case I had to refund his money, to return that money. I was so afraid that I was going to fail. I didn't believe in myself, right? That was how little I believed in myself. Now, that was in 2011. Now, my average customer pays right around $2,500 a month, 25 times what I used to charge 10 years ago, less than 10 years ago. Think about that. And my largest SEO monthly fee ever paid to me was $50,000. I literally closed a deal and was given 4 months in advance on that. So I was handed a check for $200,000. Now, let's get real. That's not the norm, okay? That was a one-time amazing thing that happened. It happens every so often where I get those big, nice, great deals. However, I charge between $1,000 and $3,000 per month for SEO now. That should be your goal. I charge between $3,000 and $6,000 for a website. That should be your goal. I charge $45 a month to $125 per month for hosting. That should be your goal, right? Charging what the service is worth is the goal. Listen to that again. Charging what the service is worth is your actual goal, okay? So how did I go from $100 a month to basically $2,500 or $2,000 a month on average, right? I learned a simple secret that I am going to share with you today. And I've already shared a portion of that, okay? But before I get into anything further, here's what I want to know. I want you guys to interact with me, okay? And I got to jump in here and just check. I think we got some people waiting to get in. Let me go ahead and admit. Perfect. I am my own moderator today, so I have to check and make sure we let everybody in. Okay, so I want you to type in the chat right now. What are you charging now and for what service? Pick one. What are you charging today for SEO? What are you charging today on average for a website? What are you charging today for hosting? Go ahead and put it in the chat. Type it in the chat right now. If you're watching the replay, put it in the comments. Don't be shy. Don't worry about what others will think. Remember, today is about you and about your growth. Stop worrying about other people and start thinking about yourself. So I want you to drop in the chat what you get paid today for whatever you do in fact sell. And if you're watching the replay, drop that in the comments as well. So we have $500 for directory websites, $300 for static websites with free hosting on Netlify for the client, hosting $35 to $129, websites $13 to $20K. Okay, this is what you're currently charging. So look at the vast difference in the comments. If you're seeing the comments, and I'm reading some of them out to you, you know, one person is charging $300 for a website. Another person is charging $1,300 for a website. Huge, huge. So keep that in mind. And I don't see a ton of people typing, right? Type, put it in there. I want you to own today because we're going to change tomorrow. Okay. Remember, Monday Mindset is all about changing your mind to change your business. So own where you are today, because tomorrow that's not where you're going to be, right? We're going to make some changes. Okay. Now let me ask you, for those of you guys who wrote something down, or for whatever you thought in your mind you didn't write down, do you feel proud of what you charge, or do you feel embarrassed? Do you feel proud, or do you feel embarrassed? And I want you to be honest. And again, you don't have to write it if you don't want to, but you can write it in the comments or the chat if you want to. There's a reason I'm asking this. I want you to really answer yourself. Do you feel proud or embarrassed? Okay. So I've got some people saying they're embarrassed, right? I know I was. I wasn't out there telling people, hey, look, I'm this great big business charging $100 a month for a service I should be charging $1,000 for. I wasn't doing that. But here's the thing. I didn't get it back then, and I want to help you get it today because I had to learn this. I should have been dang proud of getting $100 a month. I should have been ecstatic. I should have patted myself on the back, right? And that is the number one secret today I want you to take away to raising your prices. And that's your belief system, right? While earlier I said you should charge what your service is worth, in all actuality, most of us charge what we think the service is worth, or more importantly, what we think we are worth. You see, we're not charging based on the actual service or based on the actual outcome. In most cases, we're based on what we think we're worth, what we think the market will tell us we're worth. And if we don't really believe in ourselves, if we don't have that strong belief system, if we don't have strong processes, if we don't have it all figured out, we tend to undercharge. We tend to go lower, right? If you don't believe the price, either will your customer, right? So if I want to charge $3,000 a month, but I don't believe I'm worth that, I could go to every sales training on the planet and I'm not going to be able to pitch and sell $3,000 if I don't believe it. It's the literal law of attraction, right? So I want to put some things into perspective. This is something that I learned, and it helped me really see things in a clear way. So you wrote down a number, or at least you thought of one. So when I asked you, what's the number, right? Maybe you were only charging, like me, $100 a month for something, right? I used to be very embarrassed to tell that story. I didn't want to share that with anyone. But here's the real truth. And here's what I had to start doing and saying to myself. I had to start telling myself and realizing all the things I was doing, and the reason why I was worth more, and the reason why I should believe in myself. So here are my statements. I started a business. I started a business. I took the initiative. I did that. I took the initiative, right? I created a service and I sold that service. And someone picked me. Someone said, Lisa, yes, do that thing for $100 a month. Yeah, wasn't a lot of money, but somebody paid me in my business that I created for a product that I was offering. Somebody picked me and paid me that money. Okay. At the time I sold that service, I believed I was worth $100 a month. And hence, the customer happily believed it as well and paid me that money, right? That customer paid me for that service from my company. I want you to ask yourself right now, how many people on this planet, in this world, can say that right now? You can, right? I want you right now to type in the comments, I did, right? You sold somebody something. I did. You charged somebody money. I did. You started a business. I did. I created a product or a service and I sold it to someone. Yes, I did. Okay. That's the first step in believing in yourself. And sorry, I'm kind of weird. I got goosebumps saying that because it really is prophetic, right? It sounds like hype sometimes. It sounds like a bunch of malarkey to some people to start thinking like this. But the first step in believing in yourself is acknowledging your success, large or small. And I wasn't doing that back in the day. I saw what everyone else was doing and I wanted to be like them. I listened to the gurus who were pitching a lot of money and saying you could do this thing. But I wasn't celebrating the things I was already doing and learning the things I really needed to learn. A lot of gurus will teach you all sorts of methods and they'll teach you all sorts of things, but they rarely teach you the one thing that's the most pivotal thing in your entire business, and that's belief. You have to believe in yourself. And that was my first big aha moment. The first moment I started to believe in myself, right? I was actually surfing the internet and I stumbled upon, I don't even know how, some facts and figures that changed my perspective. Now, I get really excited about weird statistics and data. And for whatever reason, that seems to fuel me on the inside. Now, that might not fuel you, and what I'm about to tell you might not resonate with you, but if it doesn't, go find something that does. So if you don't know this, there are over 7.7 billion people on this planet. 7.7 billion. And I don't know about you, but that's a lot. And in a minute, I'm going to show you how a lot really is, right? Now, out of those 7.7 billion people, there are only 582 million entrepreneurs. Lisa, wait, that's a lot. No, it's not. There's 7.7 billion people. 1 billion equal 999 million. So there's 582 million entrepreneurs as of 2020, 2021, somewhere in there. And I looked it up. It sounds like a lot, but it really isn't. Now, I never truly understood the magnitude of the difference between millions, billions, and trillions. Doesn't seem like a big thing until you hear it in a way that's never left my mind since I heard it. So I'm going to stick this in your brain. Wait for it. Okay. 1 million seconds is 12 days. Think about that. 1 million seconds is 12 days. 12 days. 1 billion seconds. Now, here's the difference between 1 million and 1 billion. 1 million seconds is 12 days. 1 billion seconds is 31 years. Think about that. When we hear 7.7 billion people on the planet, and then someone says there's 500 and some odd million entrepreneurs, we think, oh, well, that's a lot. It's a difference between 12 days and 31 years. That's a big gap. 1 trillion seconds, wait for it. 1 trillion seconds is 31,688 years. Years. So going from 1 million to 1 trillion, when you think about the deficit, right? You know, America has, a $2 trillion deficit. There's a big difference between 1 million, 1 billion, and 1 trillion. Why that resonated with me, I do not know, but it got me thinking. And it started me down that path of realization back in the day. I was like, whoa, man, being that there are really only 582 million entrepreneurs out of 7.7 billion, I'm one of those. And that's a really big deal, right? That means only 14% of the people in the world, in the entire world, are entrepreneurs. But let's be honest. Many of those entrepreneurs have the same thing in common. They have one very important thing in common. I guess maybe you can think what that is, right? They don't believe in themselves, right? They started a business. On paper, they own a business, but many of them never do anything, okay? They don't believe in themselves. And I didn't either when I charged $100 a month for SEO. So we can assume that less than half of those entrepreneurs actually made any money. In fact, many businesses don't make any money. If you've made $1 in your business, you're one of 291 million. 291 million out of 7.7 billion. Now, where am I going with this, right? Well, it means that you are one of the 7%. So half of that 14 have even made $1, right? So you're one of 7% of the people in the world if you generate one simple dollar in your business. 7%. If you actually generate more, if you generate five figures, it actually goes down. If you generate 6 figures, it goes down even more. In 6 figures, you're actually one of a fraction of a percent of people that make that in their business. So here's why I'm telling you that. I'm telling you that because most people only measure themselves on what they could be instead of what they are. And you're special, right? And I had to hear that. I had to learn that. I had to understand that I am actually doing something, and it's okay to be scared. It's okay to fail. It's okay to not know what I'm doing, but I have to believe that I can learn those things. I have to believe I can create processes. I have to believe I can figure things out. And most importantly, I have to believe I'm worth more than the other people on the planet that have no clue because they don't even own a business, right? So I have to start building my belief system. And remember, making that number, out of 7.7 billion, if we keep going down to what you make, you're probably like 1 in 20 million, right? You're probably 1 in 20 million that actually make what you make, believe it or not. Even if it's only 20 or 30 or 40,000 a year, literally the numbers staggeringly get lower as your revenue goes up, right? The fact that you made $1 means you're above the curve. Now, here's another fun fact, just to be a fun fact, right? Right now, there are 2,755 billionaires in the world. 2,755 billionaires in the world. Here's the interesting part. 660 of those billionaires were added to the list in 2020. Literally, a fifth of today's billionaires were made last year during a pandemic. The world was falling apart. I wonder what kind of belief it takes to invest more money, to invest more time, and to believe in yourself so thoroughly that in a pandemic, in one of the worst crises the world have ever seen, you actually built a business and became a billionaire, right? Now, let's be real. Let's be real. Most of us will not be billionaires. And frankly, that's okay. I don't think I could spend that kind of money if I tried. One more fun fact, and then we're going to talk about a few more things to help you start thinking about raising your prices. 82% of businesses that fail, they can cite their failure on not having enough cash. In other words, they simply did not bring in enough money to survive. They probably worked hard. They probably were busy every single day, but they weren't bringing in enough money to survive, and they failed. And I surely can relate back in 2011 when we were charging $100 a month for SEO, and we were charging sometimes $500 to build a website, right? I would never have been able to sustain my business and stay in business had I not changed my mind, had I not changed my mindset, had I not grown, right? So I ask you, what if you could simply double today, right? Don't worry about triple, quadruple. Don't worry about that. What if you could simply double what you charge? So if you were charging 500 for a website, what if you could get 1,000 for it, right? Without increasing the workload, meaning we're not working anymore. In fact, we're probably going to work less to make more money. Remember, the most successful entrepreneurs in the world have that one thing in common. They believe in themselves, right? They're not afraid to charge top dollar for their services. And I'm going to share with you some more secrets that are going to change everything for you. Okay. So you can raise your prices. Obviously, belief, right? Belief is number one. If you believe you're worth more, you will be. Honest. Like just that belief that you can do something helps you get there. But more importantly, your customer will believe you. Okay. Your customer will believe you. And when your customer believes you, they'll say yes to what you're selling for the price you're selling. Now, right now, I want you guys to type in the chat. I want you to type in believe in the chat or the comments if you believe that what I just said is the truth, right? If you believe that what I just said is the truth, type believe, okay? Awesome. Got believers in this group. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. And if you don't believe right now, whether it be in yourself or what I just said, I want you to stop and ask yourself one thing. Why are you here right now? Why are you sitting here listening? Why are you watching the replay, right? You showed up, which means you do believe. You believe in something. You believe in hope. You believe that change can happen, or you wouldn't be on this call today. And let me tell you, if we're going back to statistics, how many people are in our group and how many people right now showed up for the call? Think about that. You're one of, again, the smaller percentage that is willing to do something to change where you are. And that's one of the other secrets, right? You believe. Maybe you don't believe in yourself as much as you should right now. We can change that. But you do believe, okay? You wouldn't be here. You just simply need the tools and some guidance to take the next step. You need to commit literally to raising your prices and charging what you're worth. And so I told you guys, and yes, you guys came here because I said, hey, look, I'm coming out with a guide. And on Thursday, I'm actually publishing a guide, right? How to raise your price guide. And that is the guide I'm going to come out with. It's kind of like a workbook. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what you should think about and the things that it takes to actually raise your prices. And really the 3 principles that I feel are needed to, in fact, raise your prices, right? So belief, we already got that one. And I'll probably mention it in the guide. But the 3 principles are pretty simple, okay? The first one, the one you're going to learn, why charging more is better for your customers. Think about that. If you don't charge enough money, you don't have money for you to invest your time, or you're working for peanuts like I was doing. You don't have money to buy the software you need to do a better job. You don't have money to employ the contractors or staff you need to do a better job, right? So charging the right price, charging more is actually better for your customer, right? And that's one of the things I'm going to teach you, because when you charge what the service is worth, not what you're worth, you have the revenue, you have the money to buy the things you need. When you think about SEO, for example, and I talk a lot about in a lot of my programs, we use Quora and we use Pop and we use this and we use that. And people say, man, those are all expensive. Not to us, because we charge enough money to accommodate paying for those things. And that's why we're so successful for our clients, because we charge the right price. And in fact, we're able to get the results we needed, right? So we're going to learn why charging more is better for your customer. The next thing we're going to learn, how creating winning processes ensures that you will deliver amazing results, right? And this is something I had to learn, and it was a very hard taught lesson to me. I did everything myself, just me, little old me. And that's why I was making $5 an hour right there. I didn't have the right processes. I didn't definitely have them documented. I didn't have them written down. So the idea of hiring some help was crazy daunting to me because how am I going to train them? How are they going to know what to do every day? Well, I didn't have processes they could follow. I had nothing. It was all up here. And how was I going to get it from here over there to other people? So another thing we're going to learn on how we can raise our prices is that we have to create those winning processes. We have to build a structure. When we figure out what works, we have to be able to duplicate it over and over again. There's no better feeling, and I keep referring to SEO, but this goes for everything. There's no better feeling in SEO than when I go out and I sell something I know we're going to deliver. I know we're going to get great results for my customers. I just know it. I don't guess it. I don't think it. I know it. I believe it. So when I'm sitting in that sales call and I say, yeah, based on everything we've looked at and what it's going to take to rank you, I really highly recommend you spend $3,000 a month. I don't flinch. Everything in my voice says, yeah, that's what this is worth, and that's what you should be paying. I believe it. Therefore, my customer believes it. Now, that doesn't mean they can afford it or they're willing to invest it, but they do believe it. And that's the first step in closing that sale. If you can't get past that first step, you are not going to close that sale. And processes, the number 2 secret in this guide, processes are what make me feel amazingly secure with the idea that I can deliver on my promises. So I have no doubt whatsoever of taking that money and not saving it in case I have to give it back, because I have no intention of giving it back, because I have every intention of providing that amazing service to where my customer loves me. And that brings us to the third thing you're going to learn in the guide, okay? By providing more value than I actually charge, I am going to create extreme loyalty. And what do I mean by that? Well, I have customers who have been paying me $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 for years. I have some customers who have been paying me that type of money for 7, 8, 9 years. They don't go anywhere. They're extremely loyal. And the more of those customers I add on, the more my revenue increases. Now, I don't do the work anymore. I have a team because I have processes. So I'm actually working less than I did in 2011 and making gobs more money, right? The reason I do that is I provide more value than I charge. And let me give you a hint of what that means. If I'm charging someone $3,000 a month and one customer to them is worth $8,000, if I give them one customer a month, I'm over delivering, right? I'm giving them more value than what I'm charging. When I bring in 2 customers, charging them $3,000 a month, right? $3,000 a month, and I bring in 2 customers worth $8,000. They paid 3 for 16, and so on and so on. And it's not just in SEO. It could be in web design. It could be in hosting, whatever it is. If you provide more value than you charge, you will create that extreme loyalty to where you're not always worried. I used to be worried. I was constantly, when is this person going to quit? Okay, I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop. Why? Number 1, I didn't have the right processes, so I wasn't getting the success I should. But number 2, I wasn't proving to my customer my value. So you got to provide that value, but in that guide, I'm also going to show you have to prove it to them. You have to let them know exactly what you're doing. Now, when you learn these 3 principles, you can confidently raise your prices. Now, it might not be overnight, right? If you're making $100 now, it doesn't even make sense to think that you're going to make 25 times that money next month. It might be a slow transition, but it's a transition and it's progress and you're moving forward, okay? You earn more money by doing less eventually. And that's how you create the type of abundant success, for example, that you see me do, okay? So who wants that guide Thursday? Who wants that guide? I want you to type raise in the comments, type raise in the chat. If you're watching the replay and you're in the Facebook group, I want you to type raise because you guys are the ones who are going to get that guide first. You're going to get it in your hands. You're going to get to ask questions about it, all that kind of stuff, okay? Now, the guide's going to give you exactly what you need to get started. And if you're already in one of our programs, you know the quality of what I deliver. And even in my free stuff, I over deliver, right? Even in my free stuff, I over deliver. So the guide's going to give you everything you need to get started. However, if you're not in one of our programs, right? And I always remember this is in this group, I say, look, I'm going to give you some free stuff. I'm going to teach you some free stuff. And I'm also going to pitch my own products. That's the deal. We've all agreed to, right? So sometimes success actually comes easier when you have a step-by-step program, right? Just believing in yourself is great. It all starts with that. But what about the processes? What about all the things if you could fast track that, right? If you don't have to go and guess it on your own, if you don't have to go learn it by yourself. So in our programs, we actually do that. We give you everything you need to not only believe in yourself, and yes, we do cover belief, and we have exercises and things that you do to learn how to believe in yourself. So you can have that smooth journey to success, not that bumpy road with all the roadblocks, right? So hence why I would be remiss in not mentioning one of our world-class training programs where we do teach the beliefs and the processes and everything you need, not only to raise your prices, but successfully hire the people you need, get everything in place to run a business that you don't have to be working in, right? So you can take vacation. Imagine that. I didn't take vacation for probably 7 years. Or if I took a vacation, it was very stressful because I had to double up before and after, right? So our program is called Agency Fast Track X Success. And right now it's not open. You cannot join, you cannot get in it. But in August, we're going to be opening up the doors for the first time in 16 weeks, right? Because I'm actually, after this wave that's going through now, I'm actually taking a break. I'm actually taking 3 weeks off and actually going up to the lake and having a great 3 weeks during the summer. But if you want to fast track your business, right? And you're not in our program now, and you want to learn everything you can in a 12-week program that covers basically everything you need, not only to believe in yourself, right? And not wait. I mean, we'll eventually teach all that in this group, but it's coming so slowly. It could take you a year or two to get where you want to be, right? Our program does it in 12 weeks, and we can help you define the strategy you want for success. So if that's you want to get on the fast track, you want us to let you know when that program opens, you want to be one of the first people, and that's limited seats. We only sell 50 seats each time we do it. If you want to be in line and be one of the first people, type fast track in the comments if you're not currently in a program. Now, if you're currently in the program, and I see lots of names and faces in here, notice they come. People in our program come to get these tidbits because I'm always going to give you something that will help, right? But we'll add you to the list if you type fast track, and then you're going to get an invite when we actually open the doors. We'll actually do a webinar, show you what's all in the program, talk to you about it. No obligation, just type fast track. Remember, it's a limited seat, right? When we get 50, we close it. And the last 2 times we've ran this program, we've had to close the doors because we reached our limit, okay? So if you receive value out of this live stream, imagine what you would get in one of our programs. Okay, if you're watching the replay, I want you to do the same thing. Type fast track if you want to get on that list. We're actually building that list, and it's first come, first serve. Okay, again, and I'm just going to remind you, if you want the price guide, you type raise in the comments or chat. So guys, I hope this Monday mindset gets your week off to an amazing, productive start. I hope you leave here today with a stronger belief in yourself than you had when you came. And I hope that you see that no matter how or where we are, whether we're at $100 a month or we're at $100,000 a month, we still need to work on us. We still need to work on our belief systems. We need to celebrate what we have done and stop chastising ourselves for what we haven't. Because the only way to get to the future is to take the first step forward, right? So remember, to change your mind, you need to change your business. Thank you for joining us for our Monday Mindsets. Have a productive and profitable week, everyone. And I will see you next Monday.